Hi crafty friends, Melissa Minor here, and I'm super excited to be sharing a layout with you for the Peartree Cutfiles design team. I'm using this cut file, and this cut file is exclusive to Pearscription members. And if you're not familiar with Peartree Cutfiles Pearscriptions, I will have information linked down below in the description box. But basically what it is it's a monthly subscription to Cutfiles, and it's absolutely amazing. All right, so here's the cut file that I cut out, and it says all the fall feels. And I think I have just the perfect picture for this. I have this beautiful picture of my daughter Tatum, and this is from last fall. And I've been just kind of hanging on to it, waiting for just the right paper. And I think I found it. Here it is. This is from 49 and Market, and this is called ArtOptions Spice. And I love the fall colors in this. And let me bring in my picture. I think that this is just going to work perfectly with this collection. So I think I'm also going to use this. These are the laser cut elements. So the 49 and Market ArtOptions Spice Wildflower laser cut elements, and look at these. I punched them all out, but these gorgeous florals. You get some pumpkins, there's some leaves. Just look at these. I just think they are so gorgeous. I absolutely love them. And then I might bring in this. This is the ArtOptions Spice Wishing Bubbles and Baubles. I'm not sure on that yet, but I picked it up and I put it here with the collection to possibly use. All right, so I decided I wanted to dye some flowers, and I hadn't done this before, and I cannot believe how perfect these turned out. They match that ArtOptions Spice collection perfectly. So the colors I'm using here, I'm using some of my Shimmerz paints, and I have a Vibez and Pink Moscato and a Shimmerz and Here I Yam. And let me hold these on here to one of these laser cut elements, and I just think these two colors match this collection perfectly. So let me show you how to dye these flowers. It is so easy. I've got some of these handmade flowers. This is the Ivory Pearl made by Little Birdie. I have some 49 and Market florals mixed in, and just several different brands of handmade flowers. I am so excited about this that I don't think I'll ever buy a colored flower again, because I can paint my own to customize them and make them match all of my collections. So I am spraying on this Vibez in Pink Moscato, and a Vibez is a shimmer spray. So it's super easy. And then I've got another flower here, and I want to show you this one. Now this one I'm using the Shimmerz. Shimmerz is already a liquid, and it's a water-based paint with shimmer in it. So both of these have lots of shine and shimmer. They just really sparkle. And I'm just taking a paintbrush here and dipping it into the Here I Yam. I love the names of all the paints for Shimmerz. And I'm just going to quickly paint this flower, and I'll just set these aside to dry. And then, like I said, they are customized to perfectly match my layout. I just really can't believe the color match with these. So I will get this finished painted up, and we'll set these aside to dry, and then we can use them on our layout. So easy to do. Okay, I think that looks good. So let me set this aside. All right, so I have my cut file, and I want to use this paper from the 49 and Market ArtOptions Spice collection. And now I'm bringing in my color swatches from Shimmerz paints, and I'm trying to match another color. I want to add a little bit of mixed media to the background. So what I'm thinking is I want to use this Moss-terious green, and this is also a Vibez, so it's a shimmer spray. And I want to apply a little bit of this down to really make my cut file pop. I like this 49 and Market paper. It's already got like that mixed media vibe to it, but I want to add a little more. So off camera, I did go in and I treated my paper. I painted on some clear gesso all over the whole sheet, and I let that dry, and so you can't even see the clear gesso. But what that does is it allows the paint to move around freely onto the page. So I just think it helps to use some clear gesso when you're applying paint to a layout. So you'll see what I've done here is I've taken a few spritzes of the Moss-terious green and I spritzed them onto my glass mat there. And I'm using a sponge and I'm just picking up a little bit of the paint and then I'm tapping it ever so gently onto my page to just spread this around. And what I want to do is just create a place for my my cut file to go. So I did back the leaves of the cut file and I cut out the words fall as well, and I'll pop those in just a little bit later. So let me go ahead and just finish up this paint here. And I think that looks good, but there's a few spaces where I think that the cut file is going to overlap. So I want to make sure that there's all green behind my cut file. I think I need a little bit more over here in the upper left. And once this dries, it will really just kind of fade into the page and it'll look like the page was made like this. At least that's what I think. So one more little spot, I think, up here, and then we'll call it good for the paint. And I can go ahead and get this cut file adhered down to my page. So yeah, I think that looks really good. I missed that one little spot up there. So that looks good. And then since I have the green on the upper portion of the page, I'm adding a little bit of water also to my paint just to make sure that it's a light color and it blends well. I'm going to also add a little bit down here to the lower right-hand side of the page. And then even a little bit, just a very touch of it over to the left, just to make sure that it looks like cohesive so that it looks like the paper was made like this. So I really like how that looks. Okay, let me bring the cut file back in and perfect. I'm super happy with that. So I will go ahead and get that glued down in a moment. But first, before I do that, I want to bring in some of this modeling paste. So this is TCW's modeling paste, and I'm bringing in one of my favorite stencils. And this is Tim Holtz stencil. I believe it's called Dot Fade. And it just has these little bitty dots. And this is just to give the page just a little bit of extra interest. This is a real subtle detail, but I think it's those subtle details that really make your page pop. So I'll add a little bit of this texture paste in the upper left. I'll bring some over here to the right-hand side of the page. And then I know I'm going to put my photo kind of over here on the right. And so I want to add just a little bit more down here in the lower right so that it just kind of peeks out from around my photo. So I think that's going to look super cute. Okay, I'm going to set this aside to dry and I'm going to start working on my photo. So I print my photos at home. I use the Epson PictureMate 400. And when I print that, there's a feature where you can print with the white border on your photo. So when I print at home and I print 4x6 size, I always print with that white border. I think it just helps really make your picture stand out. I've taken a piece of this brown cardstock from my stash, and now I'm using this edge distressing tool to distress the edges. Forgot to mention, but any products that I use today, I will leave linked down below in the description box, as well as a link to Peartree Cutfiles, and so you can check out their Pearscriptions. I think I want to add a double mat, so I'm using this piece of paper from the 49 and Market ArtOptions Spice, and I went ahead and backed that and distressed the edges. And then this is just like a little scrap, and I think I want this little orange paper to be kind of peeking out from around the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and just distress this just a little bit more, and I will go ahead and adhere this to the back of my photo just to give my photo a little more interest here. And I tore the edges, but now I'm going over with my distressing tool just to kind of blend that in. So I'll put a little tape runner here, and then I'll glue my photo down. And so now my photo is ready to go onto my layout. Okay, so I'm really happy with that. All right, let's break back in the page, and I'm going to set my cut file down, and then I'll go in and glue that down. Let me bring in the photo and just kind of dry fit this to make sure I'm going to like the placement of everything. And I really like that green Vibez color, that's that Moss-terious green poking out from behind my cut file. I think that looks really pretty. Okay. So off camera, I went ahead and glued down my cut file, and you'll see there I added in the letters fall. Now I did use the contour feature on my Cricut machine to cut the letters for fall. Now the leaves I just backed. I flipped the cut file over upside down and just traced it onto that same paper, and I went ahead and put those in. So now's the fun part. Now I get to play with all these awesome embellishments, and these are just so gorgeous. I love that 49 in Market's laser cut elements. They just look so real. And their floral arrangements, like it really looks like just gorgeous flowers. I love that they don't have the white background, so there's no trimming needed. They're just gorgeous. And here's those flowers, a couple of those that I painted earlier. The larger ones are still drying, so I'll bring those in a moment. I'm just kind of getting a feel of where I want all these embellishments on the page. And so I know I'm going to want some pumpkins. And that's looking really good. And then I need to bring in maybe just another little purple flower over here to the side. And I know I need to bring, I want to add a floral cluster to the upper right-hand part of my photo. And some of these pieces, I will end up adding some foam. Like I think I want these flowers on top of the photo, and other flowers I have tucked in behind the photo. Just adds a little more interest to your page. And so I went ahead and glued a couple things down. I added some foam, and I added the flowers to the upper right. I added a little bit of foam to the back of this pumpkin, and I'm sticking it down. Now this purple flower, I'm just going to add some adhesive here. I'm going to tuck that in behind my pumpkin. And then now I think I'm ready to bring in some of my floral embellishments. I'm kind of getting an idea of where I want the pumpkins. And so with this, I'm bringing in some heavy gel mat, and that's what I like to use to adhere my flowers. Now these are some 49 in Market florals here. This is just like the leaves. And you just paint this gel mat on, and that will hold your flowers like glue, and it's stronger than glue. It's amazing. So it's great anytime you're working with paper flowers. And so applying more of that gel mat to the back of these florals, and I'll just tuck those in. So those are the ones that we painted together. And then I've got those smaller ones that I had painted off camera. And I'm just tucking them in and completing. And so far, I'm really happy with the way this looks. I still can't get over how perfect those Shimmerz paints just match this collection. So, oh, I forgot to mention, if you do place an order on the Shimmerz Paints website, you can leave my name, Melissa Minor, in the comments section of your order, and Shimmerz will send you a free paint. So that also lets Shimmerz know that I referred you, and you get a gift out of it too. So I really appreciate it if you do place an order to add my name. Thank you so much for doing that. All right, so look at this cluster. It's so pretty. I love this, and I love the cut file. It's just so cute. All right, so the finishing touches, I'm just adding in one more little flower here, and then I'm going to bring in some sequins. Every embellishment or every layout needs a little bit of bling, and so these sequins I thought matched perfectly with this collection as well. These are from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and this is the sequin mix called Peach Fizz. And so I've got 3 up here in this upper cluster, and then I've got 3 that I'm putting down here in this lower right-hand cluster, and then I'm going to add 3 more over to the left-hand side of my page. So that is really going to finish up today's layout. If you've enjoyed this video, I hope you will hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. Off camera, I did go in and add a few journaling lines and some journaling, just talking about fall and my daughter, who I just think is so beautiful. I love her so much. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. I will have still shots over on my Facebook and my Instagram page. Thanks so much. Bye.